Okay then, Monday morning, and things have settled down a little bit from the weekend. How are you feeling about this game now, Josh? Because just reading the report there from John King in the Mail, and he's referencing some quotes from Henderson. Says there, they make it intense, difficult. We knew it'd be tough, and he says we've missed these atmospheres when it's all mad. I like that because I just think about. I know like it wasn't the result we wanted, and it's disappointing to concede 3 goals and not get 3 points when rivals have slipped up. But equally, there was something great about that match in terms of it just being a proper game of footy with the fans in, an R5 under the lights. You know what I mean? It was like a complete contrast to some of that soulless crap we were served up last season, basically in the pandemic.
Yeah, and also Brentford are a proper football team, aren't they? I was watching it with a mate of mine, and we were sort of commenting on the fact that there's a load of newly promoted sides who come up and have a bit of an idea about how they want to play, and it's either too ambitious or it's completely lacking in ambition. And there's a lot of teams in the Premier League who've sort of kept themselves in the Premier League by lacking any of that ambition. But Brentford are the opposite of that. They're an absolute breath of fresh air. As you mentioned, the atmosphere, the style of football, and the way that contributes to it. You know, Jurgen Klopp was talking in his press conference before the game, saying about, you know, he was giving Thomas Frank so much praise, he's giving Brentford so much praise, and they're almost like a Liverpool light in a sense. Brentford are, in terms of the way the style of play feeds into the atmosphere, in terms of the way the fans and the players are together. And I think you saw that on Saturday, and it's hard to be sort of, you know, come out of our subjective Liverpool bubble and be objective about it, but objectively it was a really good game of football, and unfortunately Liverpool don't come out on top. But you know, as you say, during the pandemic we didn't get many great games of football, and definitely didn't get any great atmospheres, so it was a bit of a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, it was, and also a breath of fresh air was, you know, a Man United manager deciding to mention Jurgen Klopp to talk about penalties. They get a penalty, and I think that ball's still coming down now. One of the worst penalties you ever will see. And then bizarrely, and this, you know, I only heard these quotes this morning. He still went in front of microphones afterwards, Solskjaer, and said, we're not getting enough decisions. And it was like, wow.
Yeah, it's like the quote they took from the game. I was actually listening to Talk Sport on after the game, and the quote they took from the interview is that he said, well, I'm disappointed because their goal was offside. And it's like, lad, come on.
I know.
But it was boss, that wasn't it? Like that, just that whole sort of early afternoon, morning in general of the City-Chelsea game. Like I was watching that, but then like sort of listening in for the United and Aston Villa result, and it was just one of them. Like Neil always mentions throughout the season about feeling alive in a title race, and you know, feeling alive by the time it gets to April, and those are the sort of games where you do. And you know, Liverpool don't get the result in the end, they only get the point from the game in the end, but you look at those fixtures in the morning and you're like, this is when you know Liverpool are in a title race and there's things on the line, because there were so many years where you weren't really looking at anyone else's games and worrying about results. You just wanted Liverpool to sort of win week in, week out, and they weren't even giving you that. Whereas now Liverpool are winning, you know, most weeks, and you've got other teams whose results are resting on it, and just sort of like you see the Emi Martinez thing as well, the Aston Villa goalkeeper giving it to Ronaldo, saying, well, he's giving it to Ronaldo before as well, wasn't he? Yeah.
And then the dance to the fans is absolutely unbelievable.
The whole thing's unreal.
I said that to my kids, and you know they love that one. Looking at the league table now, Josh. Obviously the Reds are top. We are a point clear. We're the only team in the league who remain unbeaten. But you know, the 2 draws do allow City to sort of sneak back up again, because you know we got excited when they were dropping points. Only a point behind us, and of course the big game on Sunday that we'll be building up to all week. I mean, already in some of the pullouts today, you know, they're already talking about that. You know, you got in the blue corner, in the red corner, keeping the boxing analogies going that a lot of them have gone for this morning. Obviously with the Joshua match. But how are you feeling about it? It's, you know, after 6 games now, where do you see it going? Are you still confident Liverpool are going to be right up there? Are you worried by what you saw at the weekend?
No, I'm confident. I think that game was just a mad game, which happens over the course of a season. Like Liverpool have had them even in seasons where Liverpool have not dropped many points to newly promoted sides. You know, I was thinking only the week when Crystal Palace came to Anfield about the Crystal Palace game in the season. I think it's a season we don't win the league, but Crystal Palace come to Anfield and just make it a torrid night for us. And I think almost to an extent, the Anfield crowd that night is what edges Liverpool over the line, and it was probably the Brentford crowd which edges them to the draw this time, and Liverpool just didn't have quite enough quality in certain moments as well. So no, I'm not worried at all. I think there's only a handful of games you're going to get like that over the course of the season, and I still believe Liverpool come out on top in most of them. I think that maybe the one thing that's worried me is I was all but prepared to write off City after they drew with Southampton, and then they looked really good against Chelsea at the weekend. So I think that just sort of shows that we shouldn't be underestimating them. But I mean, we as fans will do that, but Jurgen Klopp and his players definitely won't. They're sort of ever the professionals, and they'll be making sure that they're completely equipped going into this game. And I'm dead confident of a win, and dead confident that the Reds are going to be right up there come the end of the season as well.
All right, the Reds, thanks very much for getting stuck into that little snippet there of Anfield Wrap content. If you want the rest of that show and much more besides, click the link below, subscribe to the Anfield Wrap Premium, and for that you will get reviews, previews, exclusive interviews, post-match content, the full it. Get involved, follow us, follow them from the heart of Liverpool. Up the Reds.